So welcome to another episode of Global Marketing Leaders. Today we're with Fausta Ballesteros, CMO of Wiseline. Fausta, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Mariana, for having me.
Yeah, of course. Should we just jump into the first question? So Fausta, as a leader in dynamic global markets, what's a recent lesson that has changed the way you approach your role?
So for me, there are maybe three or more, right? But three that I can tell, right? Lessons. One is really that there's no more yearly planning as we know it, right? Those years, those times when you just do in December your plan for the whole year and then execute, that's gone, right? It's monthly or even weekly, and sometimes it's something that is a priority in the morning and change in the afternoon. And so kind of change is not the exception, right? It's the rule. So you have to embrace it and say, okay, things are going to change, and be good with that, right? So that for me is the first mindset. The second one, especially for marketing, that there are all of these metrics around followers, or like no one cares about that. It's you have to marketing has to be connected with the business. So your metrics should speak business, right? Should be growth, ROI, new clients. The other side you can have it for activity, for tracking, but really you have to speak business in marketing.
So what you're saying is mostly subscribers, followers, impressions. That's important, but the main metric right now has to be tied to money, to revenue goals, right?
Depending on the objective of the company. Right? In my case, is demand gen, is lead gen, is how many new opportunities I bring into sales, right? How good are my leads, or how mature, how real. So it has to be connected with the priority. Depends on the industry. In my industry, is that today. And the third one for me, it's the importance of the team, right? I feel like the secret sauce, or my secret sauce, is the team, and my obsession daily is how I build a good team, what I need to do with my team, how they evolve, how I have a team that makes things happen, how I mix it, how they become, right? I'm more like a orchestra director, right? To find the right tune. But without a marketer or a CMO without a team is nothing, right? So for me, really the priority is that. So those are, for me, the three big mindset change.
And can you tell us a little bit more about how your career unfolded, right? So from international experiences to becoming a global marketing strategist, like how did that happen? How did that unfold for you?
So especially I feel like it's an evolution, right? I started my career in marketing more in the communication area, right? So I started more in a big, large corporation. I started my career in Shell, an oil company, right? That it was all about processes and big things and this global perspective. Then I stayed there for almost 6 years. Then I moved to an agency, so really more a brand PR agency where there was really it's all agility, it's all jumping from project to project. You have to be consultant. Services is different to product, right? And after those two big experiences, I kind of pivot to tech when I moved to the US from Argentina. That for me was the perfect blend between those two experiences, right? Technology brings you that globality, right? Because the impact that you have is global, and especially then I start working in different regions with the agility that you have from the agency, right? That is a service company, so you have different projects, different priorities. So for me, tech gives me that combination of those two things. And after that, I went from startups to IPOs to private to big corporations, from working in Latin America, right, in Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, to Eastern Europe, and then US and Europe and Asia, right? So really that the different shapes of companies and also the different locations, right, give me marketing at the end is about people, and you're selling to people, and if you're in services, you actually, right, build trust, because at the end they have to trust you with their budget, with their so understanding that at the end we are all connected, and then there's kind of that common thread between the different locations is for me what makes me passionate about marketing as well.
And I'm just curious, what would you say was the main challenge moving from Argentina and a Latin American market to the US market? Because you say marketing is all about people, right? And selling to people and understanding their POVs and what they need. Would you say there's one main challenge from working with just Latin American people in a Latin American market to the US, or is it really sort of the same, just needing to understand specific POVs from the audiences?
I think that at the end it's the same, but you can say that when you did the journey, right?
Yeah.
When you're coming, right, when you're in Latin America, you have this kind of, okay, I'm going to the US and everything is different, and you're like with this kind of imposter syndrome, especially with language, right? Because it's not your native language.
I completely understand that,
So like the typical thing, I seem so much smarter if I speak in Spanish.
I always say that, right? Yes, yes.
But I feel like once you do the journey, at the end you discover that at the end, everyone is people, right? And especially you are able to speak, for example, two languages. Maybe you in America they only speak one. So when you kind of feel safe of that, right? I mean, everything at the end is the same, right? And it's about building the connections and building experience and again building trust. Right? At the end, especially in this market, is they trust you with your time, with their money, with your. So when you are able to connect with that, for me it's the same. But again, you have to go through
the process to understand
to understand it.
And talking about culture-driven spaces and AI, so shifting the subject a little bit to AI, how do you find or how do you balance the precision of all these AI tools that we have now with the unpredictability of human interactions or human connections? How do you balance both?
For me, actually, it's I think it's better for the non-technologies, right? Because what AI gives you is that you need to understand the craft, right? The more you understand the industry or the space that you're building, right? Then it's the better use that you can do with AI, right? And for that, you can take the people from that ecosystem. So really AI is kind of an integration. It works great. It's like a superpower, but it works great if it's integrated with the human part, right? You can, if you don't understand how to apply it or what's the pain point on the industry or what's the problem, right, that you need to solve, you will not get anything. Maybe you'll get some data, you'll do some things fast, but you will not be solving real problems. Yeah. So the integration really needs to happen. You can, if not, you can do like mediocre AI, right? If you really want to explore and do exponential AI, it has to be integrated, it has to be connected. And again, the more you know, the more the craft, the more you will get from AI.
Yeah, and when it comes to hiring, say you try to make your team bigger and you're trying to hire new marketing strategists for your team, are you finding it hard to find people with AI expertise or people who know how to handle these tools particularly?
When I hire, I don't, because it's really new, so you don't find a lot of people. For me, it's more about the personality. So you need to find people that is not afraid of change, right? As I was saying at the beginning. You have to be people that it's okay with experimentation, that doesn't know all. If I have someone that's a candidate that comes and say, I know everything about AI, I will not hire that person because I need someone that what is relevant today maybe is not tomorrow or in 2 weeks. So it's more the attitude. I need someone that it's okay to fail fast, that it's okay with adapt, that it's okay with experimentation, that is very hands-on, that make things happen, that try things. So for me, those are the skills that are important for AI or for what's coming in the future.
Whatever else, right?
Exactly. So that can work in teams because at the end, there's a lot of peer-to-peer learning with AI. That's how we do it today, right? I have a swap team or I have a leader, right? A champion that knows more and teach the others, and then that's how you learn. Yeah.
And can you describe a project related to AI where AI brought to the table creative insights or opportunities beyond just improving efficiency, let's just say?
No, I'm very excited about a lot of projects, but lately, or at least something that really blew my mind last week, was we now created what we call a prompt content creation system that really we need to create a lot of marketing collaterals faster with few people, right?
Yep.
So we really create with just one interview. So it's an end-to-end process or an end-to-end system that help us create marketing collaterals. In 30 minutes, we create 30 collaterals with only one input, right? So we do one interview to an SME, right? We're matching a case study. And then we create 30 prompts, 30 standard prompts. So say, okay, create a brochure, a LinkedIn post, whatever. And then we connect that with Gemini, and actually in 30 minutes, we create from one input, 30 assets.
Yep.
But then, of course, we need the human element to check, to verify, to naturalize, but that's really not only save us time, but also make us create things that we were not able to do with because we didn't have the expertise. And now with the template creation, it was kind of easy. So that was one, right?
Yeah. So actually, that was my next question, right? With AI, which is all the rage now, AI search and Gen AI. How are you adapting your content and marketing strategies to that? But I think you just answered that questions, right? Like with just one prompt, you get 30 collaterals depending on the LLM or whatever. But would you say that's the way Wiseline is adapting to AI search, let's just say?
Yes, but at the end is really not. We are trying to still crack the code. I think there are a lot of companies out there trying to find what's the difference between Gen AI search and the typical SEO, right?
Yep.
And how you adapt the content. But yes, that's one. But at the end, it's really going to my point before, right? It's around people. So how you make it real, how we keep it conversational. At the end is how we build trust with conversations and how that is in the content market, right? How that permeates the marketing.
And Fausta, talking about people and AI, what are some of the blockers that you've encountered along the way with AI adoption? And how have you encouraged openness? Because some people are still wary of AI, right? Even people working in the AI environment. I've seen some people being like, I don't know, I don't trust it, to your point before. So how do you get past that with your teams?
First is this concept, right, that we see in another place, that is the psychological safety, right? How you make it okay that it's okay to not know, right? It's okay to, so first I start with that, right? And I'm the first one to identify that I don't know, maybe I just know how to do the prompts of ChatGPT, but there's a lot much more than just asking things to ChatGPT that we're not doing today. So that's kind of the first, right? It's okay, we are in this journey, right, together. And then what it works for me and for the team, really, one is what I was saying, find the champion, right? There's always someone that is more passionate about something.
Agreed.
And I kind of empower that champion and say, hey, do it, right? Inspire the others, teach us, right? This peer-to-peer learning as well. So lead the champion I give him the space. I say, what tools do you want to experiment? What do you need? Right? Do you need more money to experiment into this? Do you need, right? Of course, fail-faced and cheap as well, ideally, but give the space for experimentation, find the champion, trust in this peer-to-peer learning. That champion then evolved into, now I have a SWAT team that I call it the SWAT team of AI, right? And say, hey, let's define the use cases, right? We know the craft, we know, so where can we apply it? Divide it into the team and say, you're going to experiment with mid-journey, you're going to experiment with video, you're going to experiment with content production, right? And then get together and move. So I feel like those are the things. But the most important is kind of make sure that everyone is afraid of change and that it's okay, and make that's why I started with the psychological safety, right? Like, if you not assume that, okay, that person knows more, and because of that, I will not trust it. So
that's so great to hear from a leader like you. Like, it's okay to be a little bit scared, right? Because with AI, everything is changing so fast. You don't know what the next day is going to bring. And also about internal education, at least at Pepper, like you say, you have a champion, and this champion is learning about a specific thing about AI, and they're teaching other people internally about it. Because again, it changes so fast that you need to learn every single day, and we sort of do the same thing, where at Pepper we have a couple of people who know the most about GEO, and they're doing internal workshops and internal panels and whatnot. So not just educating or trying to do customer acquisition via these workshops, but also internally, it's so important to have a couple of people who are like, okay, I'm going to be the expert on Gen AI, let's just say, and I'm going to prepare something, and I'm going to teach my fellow colleagues inside the company as well. I think it's so important to foster that internal education.
Well, and for
that
us,
you talk about.
Again, we're a technology company, right? So we have to, again, eat our own food or walk the talk, right?
Yeah.
And with what happened with marketing as well, right? It's that because of this effort, right, we were able to create now what we call a new offering that is marketing to the power of AI, right? That is really putting everything that we done from us, right, to our clients.
Yeah.
So now advice, and we have that, right? So those are the things that sometimes happen when you are okay to experiment and to open to the what's happening.
Yeah. And can you tell us about a scenario or a time where your leadership intuition went against data? Because right now everything is all about data, right? So is there a specific time where you went against data or numbers, and how trusting your gut made the difference for that?
I can think of one, especially in more event marketing. Because for me, event marketing has those combinations between like the digital and the real part, right? Because maybe all the engagement, or if you're doing an event, right, the first part of the campaigning is all digital, so people register to forms.
Yeah.
And if you just see the data, you see, okay, this event is okay because I have 60 people registered, right? That maybe they can be bots or they can be whatever, right?
Yeah.
But once you've been there for a long time, you say, okay, these numbers or these mails or these,
they might not be accurate.
So in one specific event, I remember we say, okay, let's do a double click on this, right? Let's partner, right? We are still on time. We have, I think, 1 month to the event. Why don't we partner? Why don't we make it bigger with people that have a better collection, a better relationship, right, with the stakeholders that we were trying to target? We partner with some hyperscalers or other companies that sell together with us, right? And instead of doing an event alone, right, we did it together. And at the end, right, the result, you share a little bit of the space or the stage, but at the end, it's kind of this better together. But it was kind of because of that, right? I would start doubting the data or saying, okay, the form's saying something, but I still... And at the end, the results were, okay, because of this partnership, because we were able to pivot on time. Not only, right, the event was successful, but also we built longer relationships and with these partners that before, right, the event serves also as an excuse for that.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm going to take that tip back to Pepper as well. And again, having led multicultural teams through, complex transformations, what mindset would you say has helped you stay grounded and effective?
A little bit of, again, going back to the team, for me, is really that building the right team and having the right people and empower them, and also make sure that they take ownership, right, of what they need to do. So every time I have to do a new project or a new transformational thing, I need to trust right, my team. So take time for that, and really that keep me grounded, and also ask, hey, are we okay? Do you feel like sometimes I'm the face with the leadership, but I'm not the executor, so I say, are we able to do this? Are we okay with that? So that relationship or that trust there has to exist. And the same with the leadership, right? So be closer, understand what are the priorities of my leaders, what they want for me, and be near and be sure that I'm understanding what's the transformation, what's the change, what's the results that they want, right? And build also a relationship of trust with the leadership. Because sometimes if you are disconnected there, maybe you are doing a lot of great things, but if that's not what the company wants, right? And a third one that for me is the more important as being a mom, right, is to have the best team at home, right, that can support, that I can focus, right, that I have everything solved. Not everything solved, but at least have a plan and a good team at home that help me
like a good support system.
Execute a support system, right, that could be friends, family, etc. But at least have that, not underestimate that, because if that's not okay, then the rest I can do. So.
And I think it's important when it comes to trust, it goes both ways, right? Because you talk about, how you need to trust your team so much, but it also needs to be the other way around, where your team is able to trust you as also the face for leadership, right? So I think that's also important. It's both ways. I always say that. It's trust both ways. So I guess my next question for you is, as an advocate for diversity and inclusion, especially for Latinos and women in leadership, what is a common misconception about leadership roles that you would like to challenge?
And again, it's related to what I was saying. It's about you learn those things in the journey. But one is a bit of that it's okay to be yourself, right? And I know it's repetitive and everyone says that, but especially when you move, when you have to, or you're an expat, or you have to relocate to a different industry or different cultures, right? At the beginning, you want to fit. Right, and sometimes when you want to fit, you look, okay, I have to, you focus on what you don't have, right?
Yeah.
I don't have the language, I don't have the looks, I don't have the right, and that takes a lot of energy. And sometimes if you focus a lot on that, right, you don't focus on what gets you there, right? Yeah. What you already have, what's your strengths, what's your
that's really true.
What's good about you, right? So it's kind of that embrace you and try to shine the good things that you have, and the rest, of course, we are not going to be perfect at everything, but it's easier to focus or to grow the things that you're good at than to focus on the ones that you don't. And try not to be others, right? Try to be your best self, right? And I feel even we are saying that because it's kind of a repetitive message, but it's true.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
And it's easier. Once you do it, it's easier to be yourself than to be someone else.
Because oftentimes I feel like you focus on the things you cannot do, right? And you're so focused on that. And then to your point, you don't see all the things you've done that got you to where you are right now. So I think it's a little bit also about trusting yourself, right?
Yeah.
So I guess final question is, looking ahead, what advice would you give to, emerging marketing leaders or leaders in general, really, navigating the intersections of culture and change and technology and inclusion? Is there some advice you could offer?
Maybe it's a little bit of repetition of what I just said, right? Again, be yourself and try to be, the sooner you realize that and the bolder you become, the path is going to be easier, right? So if you're younger or if you're starting, do it sooner than later. Then, again, trust your team, build your team, spend time in your connections, right? Life is also long, so there's a lot of people that you met, and if you connect with people, then try to keep you closer, because at the end you will need that network, from mentors to teams to collaborators. So because at the end it's about people, right? So. And those people could be your leaders or could be your support system, but at the end, the relationships, it's about that. So take care.
It's all that matters in the end, right? If that doesn't work, if the relationships, the human interactions or connections don't work, then everything else also sort of falls apart, right?
And at the end, everything is like that, right? People is the one, they're consumers, they're your leaders, they're your criticizers. So at the end, you have to build those trust and relationship. And for me, the last one is more about the embrace change, right?
Yeah.
Don't fight change. Embrace it, and everything is going. At the end, everything is going to change. So the sooner you get into that boat, it's going to be easier.
Yeah, the mindset too. Okay, this is going to be changing, so I'm going to have to adapt to the times as well, right? Great, Fausta. So to end, we have a rapid fire questionnaire. Super question, quick questions, nothing to do with marketing. The first question is, what's your favorite way to unwind and have fun?
I love the beach, so really be barefoot in the beach. That's one. And I'm a relationship person, so really being with my friends and my family, and right, that's the human connection. That's the other unwind thing.
Great. If you could teleport to any city in the world right now, where would it be and why?
I think Argentina, so I can see my parents and
completely
sister,
get that.
and like again, where my loved ones are, right? And sometimes they're all around, but there.
Wouldn't that be great? Because I'm from Peru. I was telling you, I'm from Lima. If I could teleport to Lima every so often, that would be so great.
Just to see, maybe don't spend too much, right?
Just a little bit and get back.
Have lunch and come back, right? Something like that.
What's a hobby or talent you have that would surprise most people? That's always a toughie. I think it's a hard question.
But this is kind of a hidden. I think I love organizing trips, and I'm kind of a not declared tour guide.
That's
so really,
such a good thing to have. I'm so bad at it.
So that knowing the perfect restaurant, if you walk 2 blocks here, you'll see these, right? Those hidden places.
So
that's kind of my
TripAdvisor.
my hidden career talent.
If you had to pick a theme song for your leadership style, what would it be?
I am very bad with songs. I don't know.
Okay, let's skip to the next. Yes. Coffee or tea? What fuels your busiest work days?
Chai tea lately. Chai latte, yes.
I love chai tea latte. It's my favorite. I would say I love coffee, but yes, I'm with you on that one. What's a guilty pleasure TV show or movie you secretly love?
I love all the teen ones. All those
like the rom-com teen.
But the teen, the ones that you watch when you're 17 or 15, those.
Yeah, I remember a few shows from Argentina, like Chiquititas and all of those.
Or even now, right? The summer I became pretty. Those things that
I haven't started watching that. I have to get into that
girl,
one.
Those kind of things.
Yes. What's the strangest or funniest thing that's happened to you while working remotely or traveling?
There's so many of those. From having to furnish a whole office and hire a truck in IKEA to go and find the furniture and have to do it in 24 hours. To go to customs in Spain because our books that we were shipping were retained there and have to convince the people with some Argentinian wine that give us the books back. So there are so many of those. So buying things all over the world and having to explain the CFO why I was buying some plants in Romania for an event, right? So many of those.
For the Spain customs, I bet they were convinced with your Argentinian wine is so good. I bet they were super happy with that gift. If you could master any skill or technology, what would that be?
It could be superpowers, kind of. So of course, or mind reading, or even teletransporting.
Teleporting will be a good one for us.
We were saying,
okay, a couple more. What's your go-to comfort food after a challenging day, after a hard day?
Mate, a little bit of.
As a true Argentinian.
Yes.
Yeah. And last one, if you could have dinner with any historical or fictional leader, who would it be, and why?
I would love to sit with Madre Teresa.
Madre Teresa
try to understand. Yes.
Yeah, that's a
not
good one.
Understand, like be there. And
I bet that woman that is so wise. The things she would have to tell people. That would be so interesting. Well, Fausta, that's it. I will not torture you with more rapid fire questions. Thank you so much for being with us on this episode, and looking forward to having you.
Thank you,
on the
Mariana.
podcast again.
It was fun.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks.